The nerve. What? I don't deserve a divorce. Did she really say that? I don't deserve a divorce because we didn't actually sleep together because you walked into the room and stopped us. But you were sitting there, no clothes on,
I caught
with,
ex-wife cheating at best friend's bachelorette party. When I first met my ex-wife Zoe, I was actually turned off by her. I've always been introverted and reserved. She's the complete opposite. Life of the party. I didn't think we were compatible. We met at a mutual friend's place. He called these things kickbacks. I rarely went to them. My buddy, who is pretty much like my best friend, he'd always invite me to these. But he knew the type of guy I was. We had other friends in our group, and sometimes I'd come and sometimes I wouldn't. And they would never make me feel uncomfortable. They'll bring me into the crowd and make me a part of the fun and things like that. But it was very obvious by a lot of people that I was kind of a quiet, sort of shy guy. Every time I went out somewhere, a girl would call it out. I can tell you're bashful. I would try my best not to be so quiet and off-putting, but I guess it's just who I am. My friend never pushed me to drink. They all drank, but they knew that that's just something I wasn't wanting to do. So, when we all met, my friends and I, they were big drinkers, and from the beginning, they respected that I didn't drink, and they know why I didn't drink. I grew up with alcoholic parents. They were functioning alcoholics. I never was taken by the system or anything, and always stayed in my home with my sister and brother, and we were treated with care with the help of other family members. But me seeing firsthand how alcohol can ruin your life, I wasn't wanting to be a part of that. My parents getting DUIs and being arrested for getting into altercation because they drank. It just wasn't worth it. And I saw how it ruined their health as well. I don't see how people just comfortably drink poison, but I don't judge anyone if that's what you want to do, to have fun. I've had people over the years tell me, hey, if you just have a little drink or something, then you'll be way more comfortable in these parties. Not my friends. If I have to drink alcohol just to be comfortable at a party, I'm good. I'd rather not go to the party. It's just not my thing. Anyway, when I'm there, I usually just want to talk to my friends and hang out with my friends. Now, when I'm with my buddies and we're playing games online or we're just hanging out, I do have a good time with them. It's easy to talk to my friends because they're into the same exact things that I'm into, but they're also super extroverted and they like to party and they like to hang out and do things like that. I have a lot of respect for my boys because they never try to push me to do something. They always invite me to go wherever because they want to hang out with. So my good friend Joe was dating this girl, Melissa, and she had a friend who is now my ex-wife. So Joe knew all about Zoe, but he was dating Melissa, but because they were friends, that's how Joe knew her. Anyway, Joe had no intentions on hooking me up with Zoe initially, he said. I think one of our other friends had a crush on her from what I heard when me and Zoe was dating. I decided, well, none of the guys were wanting to game this night. We typically game Friday and Saturday. It was our thing. 3 of my buddies stream on Twitch, and they are pretty popular, actually. They always try to get the rest of us to stream as well, but I don't know. It seems like it's too much dedication. These guys stream 6 days a week, and it pays off very well. I just can't dedicate that type of time. Maybe if I ever do, it'll just be on the weekend, but I love my career. I love the money I make. I love what I do. I like to game as well, but I'm not gaming every day. Anyway, this night I decided to go to the party. All my friends were going to be there, so why not go? We're having a good time. Of course, everyone's drinking, and I'm sitting there drinking a Sprite, kind of trying to pretend like I have a drink, and when someone would ask me, hey, you need another one? Hey, you want this? You want to take a shot? I'm good. I'm cool with this drink, man. I got to work in the morning. I'd make up a silly excuse, but there was a woman there who was just the life of the party, dancing, wanting to dance to all types of music, and she was pretty funny. She was very loud, not the ghetto type loud, but she demanded attention. That was Zoe, my ex-wife. She made me laugh a couple times. I thought she was pretty cool. She was beautiful. I'm not going to lie about that. I asked my buddy Joe who she was and where'd you find this girl? He says, "Oh, that's my girlfriend's friend. Her name is Zoe. You like her, huh?" I said, "No, I'm just asking. She knows how to control a crowd." Joe says, "Yeah, so you like her. You like that about her. I'm going to get her to come over here and talk to you." I begged him not to do that. I said, "Dude, please don't do that. Don't freaking embarrass me." Joe says, "I'll tell you what, come outside with me." I said, "Why?" "Because I want to smoke and I want to talk to you." So we go outside. We're sitting in the backyard. It's just me and Joe. He lights up and he's just talking to me. By the way, some of my buddies do smoke. I don't at all, but again, they don't pressure me to do those things. Joe says to me that he appreciates me. Joe is giving me a speech telling me how much he appreciates me and how good of a friend I am. And he appreciates how I've helped him out over the years. And he's glad to call me his best friend. Says I'm his brother from another mother. I told him to stop being all mushy and hurry up and smoke that cigarette. He put a cigarette out and he said, "Oh no, wait here, I'll be right back." "Stay out here, man." I said, "Dude, come on." He said, "I'll be right back." I said, "All right." 4 minutes later, I remember looking at my phone and watching the time go by. Zoe comes outside. I say, "Hey, how are you?" She says, "I'm fine. Joe told me that you wanted to talk to me." I immediately got butterflies thinking, what in the world? Why would he do this? I said, "Yeah, so where do you learn to control a room like that? It's like you're professional. Are you a comedian? How do you do that?" "It's really awesome. I'm actually taking some improv classes and I was wondering if you wanted to join me." In my head, I was beating myself up because why would I ask this girl out? Guys, that's how it came out. I've never been to an improv class. I've never even heard of one in our town, but guess what? I had to now find one because I told this big ash lie. Zoe says, "Oh my gosh, I love improv." No, I've never done it. Or I'm not a comedian, but I've always wanted to go to one of those improv type shows. "Oh my gosh, are you asking me out on a date? I barely know you, and I thought you were shy. I saw you standing over there in the kitchen, not talking to anyone, looking down at your cup of Sprite." I laughed at that. "Oh my gosh, was it that obvious? I thought it looked like vodka." She says, "No, it did not. You should have grabbed the red cup instead of the clear one. You're so funny." I said, "Yeah, that's embarrassing." She walked up to me and said, "There's no need to be embarrassed. So how long have you been doing this improv?" I said, "So I'm actually going to start it. I was invited to come down and watch a show and decide if I wanted to join afterwards." "Really? That is so awesome. I can come with you?" I said, "Sure, absolutely. Um, Let me just get your number and I'll call you or text you and let you know when." Zoe says, "Oh, it's not set up for you yet. You don't have a date that you're going?" I said, "Yeah, I have options. They do it a couple times a week throughout the month, but yeah, I could definitely let you know." She says, "Absolutely. I'd love to. You're handsome." Sorry, but that's not the alcohol talking, but the alcohol actually pushed that out of me because I wouldn't usually just tell someone that. But yeah, you're very handsome and I'd love to get to know you if that's okay. I said, "Absolutely. I'd love to get to know you too. Also, you're beautiful and I'm sure you know that's not the alcohol talking." We both laughed and exchanged numbers actually. Then went inside. I see Joe and he's looking at me. Give me a thumbs up asking me how it went. And I gave him a thumbs up back and smiled. He jumped up and down. This guy was so happy. So, since we've all known each other, of course I'm the guy that's probably only been with one girl, meaning I'm talking about a date. Freshman year, I had a girl go down on me, but that's all I'd ever done before Zoe. I never had a girlfriend. Zoe was my first ever girlfriend, and I married her. I found out that my boys were actually concerned for me. You know, wanting me to get out there and date and get to know somebody, at least have sex. I don't know, man. It's not like I don't like women. I love women. It's not like I didn't desire sex. I definitely desire sex. I don't know. I didn't have any game, I guess is what you call it. I didn't know how to approach a woman, but it took a woman to approach me, to be able to start a conversation and hold a conversation. And it was pretty easy, but I will admit I lied. So I don't know if that's good game or not, but it worked. So that night I got home around 2 a.m. I didn't go to sleep. I stayed up searching for improv shows in my city. This is something I've never looked for in my life, never even thought of it. Guess what? There were 3 different programs here in the city, and I found one that was downtown, and they had a show coming up. On the website, you can sign up to try out, and they encouraged you to come and watch a show. Of course, you have to pay for it to see if you wanted to try out and be a part of the improv at all. I said, bingo, I found it. I actually went ahead and bought the tickets for it. 2 tickets. The next day, well, later that day, I texted Zoe and I told her where the improv is going to be. Asked again if she was interested in going. She texted me back 3 hours later saying, absolutely, I'd love to. I'm so excited. So are you going to pick me up for this date or are we going to meet? In my head, I was thinking we were going to meet, but I said I'll pick you up. That's no issue. She sent a smiley face back and said, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Is it okay if I call you? I said, absolutely. I'm not doing anything. And we talked for about 2 hours. We got to know each other very well. I really liked her, man. I fell for her. Not like in love or anything, but I was very happy that I was going to go on a date with this woman. She had a career herself. She loved the work that she did. I told her about my career as a software engineer, and she was really intrigued by it, wanting to know more and more about my career and how I got into it. We talked about Joe and Melissa a bit, and she told me that she thought Joe was a great guy and he treats Melissa very well, and she likes the friends that Joe keeps around him, so she knows that I'm a good guy. After our conversation, we decided for sure we were going to go out, and I was going to pick her up. Zoe didn't live that far from me, but it was a nice drive down to downtown from my place anyway, so it was a good opportunity for us to talk and get to know each other. Zoe in between that phone call and us meeting up for the date. The date was on a Wednesday, so a good 3 days went by. She texted me that morning and says, I hope you're doing well. I can't wait to see you later. I hope you're still on for it, right? I texted her back, absolutely, yes, we're doing this thing. I got the address and I'll be there to pick you up. She texted me back saying I was afraid that you didn't want to talk to me anymore. This is when I decided to call her. She picks up and I say, what do you mean? Why didn't you think I wanted to talk to you? She says, well, you haven't texted me or even called me or anything, so I don't know. I figured you didn't like me. Maybe I said something to turn you off. I said absolutely not. I'm sorry, I'm just not used to the whole texting every day. Like, hey, good morning or whatever. She then asked me, so have you been in a relationship before? I paused. She says it's okay. I can tell that you have not, and I like that about you. I really do. You're special. I think I found a unicorn, she said. You should be proud of who you are. You're very special. I understand now, because a part of me thought that maybe he doesn't like me, but then the other part of me was saying, well, I remember thinking about how he was at the party and then our first conversation, and I kind of got an idea of who you are, and I like it. You're a great guy. You don't put yourself out there very often. You're very focused on your career. I love that you're different from anybody else I've ever met. I'm excited to go out on this date with you, and hopefully it turns out to be more, but we'll see. I want you to know it's okay to send me a text. Whatever's on your mind, if you are thinking about me, if you aren't, that's fine too. But if you're thinking about me, it's nice to hear. Hey, just thought about you, how your day going? How's your morning? Things like that, but don't force it. I want it to be natural and organic, so if you feel that way, don't be afraid to text me. My phone is always on. If I don't respond, it's because I'm busy at work or something, but I'll always get to it. Okay. Something about her saying all that just made me freaking fall in love. I'm being honest with you guys. I know you don't want to hear that. I've heard stories on this channel, but something about how she said that and her saying it in general, it won me over. So that's what I did. I went and picked her up, and she was so excited and smiling. We talked the entire time. It took about 25 minutes to get there, and then we have to try to find parking. We did, and we still were there on time. We got there 15 minutes before the show started. They were handing out free drinks. But then there was another bar. It was kind of a pushcart bar where you could buy alcoholic drinks. Zoe looked at me and asked if it was okay if she could get herself a drink, and I didn't need to purchase it. I said, "No, I'll purchase you a drink. I'll just drink my Sprite as usual, but I'll get you whatever you want." She smiled and said, "Thank you so much." I don't even remember the type of drinks you ordered, but she ordered some type of alcoholic beverage, and we sat in our seats and enjoyed the show. It was amazing. Crowd participation as well. It was fun. Something about being around Zoe just made me comfortable. I remember thinking to myself at the party, at Joe's party, how I thought she was amazing and funny, but in my head, I was telling myself I could never date somebody like that. She's way too outgoing. I'll embarrass her at parties and get-togethers. I felt so comfortable around her. I'm yelling from the crowd. I'm participating. I got on stage and did a couple things, she as well. It was fun. We had an amazing time. Zoe and I dated for 2 years, then I proposed to her. We got married within 3 months after I proposed. Moved in together, we got a townhouse we rented, and I thought I found the woman of my life. We talked about having kids and everything. I really truly was in love with Zoe. It's like she could do no wrong in my eyes. So, like I said earlier, Joe and Melissa dated, but Zoe was not Melissa's best friend. It was just a friend of hers. Zoe's best friend was a girl named Neela. Neela was getting married to some guy. I only met him one time. He was much older than Neela, 35 years older, and was a big-time lawyer. They've been together 6 months. Isn't that crazy? 6 months of dating someone and you get married to him? Anyway, Neela was having a bachelorette party. Now to let you guys know, Zoe and I did not have bachelor or bachelorette parties before our wedding. Zoe made this rule. She said she felt as if I wouldn't be comfortable with something like that, and she was right. She knew me very well. It's not something I'm into. I don't know why you need to have one last shebang before you get married, but since Neela really wanted a bachelorette party, and Zoe was Neela's best friend and maid of honor, she felt it was only right that she participated with the bachelorette party and actually throw the bachelorette party. Of course, it didn't fit well with me, but for some reason I said it's okay. I trust you. I really did trust my wife. I thought she would never do something like this, but I was wrong. This bachelorette party was to be held in a different city from where we were living, and this was strategically planned by my ex-wife. She really didn't want me to know what was going on, and maybe she felt as if, well, if I cheat in another city, it doesn't count. I don't know, a lot of stuff went through my head in trying to figure out why she would do what she did, but every time I think of anything, it's just stupid. At the end of the day, she's a cheater. She's a liar. She has caused me to never want to be in another relationship the rest of my life. My wife told me exactly where the party was going to be. It was an Airbnb in Columbus, Ohio. As bad as I wanted to trust my ex-wife, I had to go with my gut feeling. I called my boy Joe, and I told him I wanted to just pop up and see what was going on. It was just something burning inside. Joe laughs at me and says, "Dude, they're not going to be doing anything. Melissa's going to be there too. It'll be all right." I said, "Please, man, just ride up there with me, please." Joseph says, "All right, I was going to play a game tonight. You were supposed to join, but let's go, man, I'll go." We let the boys know that we weren't going to be playing the game and we were going to be headed out to Columbus. I pick up Joe and we head out that way. It was about an hour and a half away from where we were living. We get there and we get to the house and it's empty. Lights are out. There are some cars parked though, so we knew they were there. They must have gone out somewhere. We posted up on the street and Joe just kept telling me how dumb this was and how weird it is. I said, Joe, I'm telling you, man, something's not right. Joe is asking me, so what do you think? It's a bachelorette party. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be dancing. They're going to be doing stuff like that. Like, what are you so scared of? I told him that Zoe promised me that men will not be there. Joe says, right, Melissa told me that as well. She knows better than that too. We got to trust them. If they don't come in the next 10 minutes, dude, we're out of here. I'd rather be at home, man. I said, okay, 15 minutes. If they don't come back in 15 minutes, we'll just bail. 5 minutes later, SUV pulls up and all the girls are getting out. Then another car pulls up, another SUV, and it's more girls and some guys. I said, look, there's Melissa. Where the hell is Zoe? He says, oh my gosh, who are these guys? We're just staring. Then I spot Zoe. There she is. That guy just smacked her butt. Dude, Melissa is kissing that guy, bro. Joe is sitting in the passenger seat crying. I said, man, what are we going to do? Joe says, hold on, let me get myself together. We're going in there. We sat outside for about 10 minutes. You can start hearing the music blasting inside from the street. Joe, we got to go in there, man. Come on, let's go. It took Joe another 15 minutes to stop crying. My intentions were to knock on the door and be let in. We get up on the porch and Joe freaking kicks the door open. He runs inside and I follow right behind him. There are some girls in the living room and they start screaming and some guys are sitting with some of the girls. Joe just takes off, running and opening up doors to bedrooms. Joe yells for me to come into the room he had just went into. Zoe, Melissa, and 2 other guys are naked. They're all in the bed with drinking cups in hand, clearly about to have sex. Joe lunges at one of the guys, then slaps Melissa. I grabbed him off. He tells Melissa, it's over. Zoe is just staring at me. We didn't speak a word to each other. I just was speechless. I didn't know what to say, but I knew what I had to do. That was divorce her, and that's what I did. I didn't go back to our townhouse. I went back to Joey's place. Man, I was hurt, but I'm not going to lie. Joe was more hurt about Melissa cheating on him than I was hurt about Zoe cheating on me. It's not like I didn't care. I definitely care, and I was hurt. But for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to tears about it. I had to calm Joe down, man. He was talking about some stuff that he wanted to do there. We both decided that it would be a good idea to call up our doctors and go get some tests done to make sure we were good. No one knows how long they've been doing this stuff. 2 days after, Zoe texts me saying, so are we going to talk about this or what? My response was, there's not much to talk about. You were cheating on me. You lied to me. I don't know how long you've been cheating and lying to me, but I'm going to divorce you, so you should be getting papers served soon. Once I get everything set up, so maybe you should get a lawyer, but we're done. That's when she started calling me. She says, I thought giving you a little time would calm you down. I could tell that you were very angry at me and disappointed, and I deserve that. But I don't think I deserve a divorce. I said, excuse me? She says, I didn't have sex with anybody. You walked in right before it happened. I said, but if I would not have walked in, you would have had sex with someone else. She says, I don't know, I was drunk. I don't hardly remember it. That guy wasn't even that hot anyway. I said, Zoe, you are out of your freaking mind. We are done. And I hung up. She continued to text as if we were on good terms, talking about bills and the wedding for her friend Neela. It hit her when she was served divorce papers. She sent me one last text and said, I didn't think you were really going to go through with this. You're the love of my life, and I'll never in my life find anybody else like you. Please don't do this to me. I don't deserve it. That's when I took my lawyer's advice, and I blocked her on everything. I stopped talking to my ex-wife. We went through our divorce. It took over 4 months to get a divorce, 4 months. Why in the world did it take so long? That was ridiculous, but I divorced her, and I was done with her. Joe was threatened by Melissa's brothers. They all claimed that they were going to off Joe and harm him for putting his hands on Melissa. Nothing ever happened to Joe, and he moved on, and he's actually dating someone else right now. We all still play games. We've all moved on with our lives. Well, I don't know about the two girls. I don't know what they're doing. My ex-wife and Melissa, but I do know me and Joe. We're good. Still part of our friend group. We still game. We still have our jobs. We just moved on, man. I picked up a new hobby. I joined the gym. I have a trainer that I see twice a week, weightlifting, and I've actually gotten kind of big. I've always been this scrawny guy, but now I'm actually getting some definition, and it's pretty cool. Will I ever get married again? Absolutely not. Would I ever get into a relationship? Likely not. I just have no interest. I love being by myself. It sucks giving your hard love to someone. It's pretty scary. You're giving them full control to destroy you. I don't know. Hopefully my story is worth reading on your channel. Have a happy holiday.
The nerve. What? I don't deserve a divorce. Did she really say that? I don't deserve a divorce because we didn't actually sleep together because you walked into the room and stopped us. But you were sitting there, no clothes on, with a girl and two guys. But hey, you shouldn't divorce me because I didn't actually cheat. And hey, I was drunk anyway. I didn't like that guy. Bruh, the delusion. That's crazy. That is insane. Dude, you did the right thing by leaving her. You did, man. I'm glad Joe left Melissa too. Melissa, yeah, he was hurt. Or he was hurt. Yeah, and I'm sure you were too. Like, I've been there. It is hurtful to see your girl with some other guy or find out she's cheating, or I'm sure vice versa too. But it's horrible, man. You did the right thing though by divorcing her. I don't know what delusion she was in saying that she didn't deserve a divorce. She didn't deserve the divorce. I don't get it. it's it's insanity, man. And I feel you. I've been through that too. Oh, no relationships, no marriage. I was done. And I'm still there. I like being on my own. I hear you. I like being on my own. I like doing my own thing. They're a distraction. And something you said too, just giving your heart and your love to somebody, you're giving them so much control over you. You know what I mean? It's honestly, sometimes it's just not worth it. But I'm not going to say that for everybody. Some people have very, very successful marriages, very, very successful relationships. Keep doing your thing. I'm not knocking it. Guys, if you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. I'll catch you guys at the next one.